Messages from Heaven by Jaynee on YouTube, and Messages from Heaven by Jaynee.net. I also have a I'm sorry, a email that that you can message talk to me on, and that is spiritsbyjaynee@gmail.com. Uh, I'm not sure my note is around here. Maybe here it is. I hope it isn't really backward. It says this is for entertainment purposes only, and please press like and subscribe. It's really, the show is my opinions. That's it. You don't have to agree. The government doesn't have to agree. It's just my opinions. Okay, yeah, I'm all marked up because my skin is so thin. When people get older, a lot of times their skin, we're just not supposed to live that long. That's the way it is. Um, what I talked to the guides, and let me tell you one thing. I last week they had told me a couple of things that I thought were important. One, I saw our great leader in the United States melting down. I don't really know what that means, but I know his maggots, his people are trying to do everything they can so they can see the list of Jeffrey Epstein's collaborators and customers. They will get it, but they feel like he's holding it back. He's not announcing it, and of course he's not, because he was very involved with Mr. Epstein. Um, Mr. Epstein was trafficking in underage girls, like 13, 14-year olds. Um, Not all the time. I think he also had some young women who were not quite young women. They were maybe 16 or 17, but still they were I mean, they were young. They weren't like escorts or, women who you would see in bars, because they wouldn't be old enough in America, they wouldn't be old enough to drink beer in a bar or wine or anything. That's how it is. Um, and the other thing I saw was a bomb going off in New York. I can't be sure that it's going to be in New York, because who knows? But I definitely saw a bomb, and I thought it was in New York. And do I remember you? Silas? What a pretty way to spell your name. Pretty. No, I don't remember anybody. I don't remember names. It's very sad, but I don't. I haven't remembered names for a good 35 years. Simply cannot. At one point, because I have lupus, um, I was introducing myself to the same person over and over, because I didn't recognize that I met them before. I mean, I met them 10 minutes before. That, thank God, that's gone away. And I know that, I realize I met them a few minutes before, but names, no, not, boy, I don't think, because I used to have to write down my aunt and uncle's phone number, or name, like, okay, this is the number for Uncle Dave and Aunt Mildred. That's literally one of the things I wrote. Uncle Dave and Aunt Mildred. So just would forget at that moment, and not really a terrible thing. I mean, there's uh, losing your ability to think is so much more than that, and I can tolerate that. There's a lot really you can tolerate. I still do think, and I still read and take in the information, which is really important. My father had Alzheimer's or dementia. They really don't know how to distinguish between them, and it's horrible. It's really horrible. I was lucky that, or he was lucky. I don't know. He passed away. He had a heart attack before it got to the point where he didn't recognize anybody. He still recognized me and recognized his grandchildren. Mm. Otherwise, it really gets to be very, very sad when people don't even, recognize their grandchildren. Um, I wish I did. I remember you, but I can't. Somebody writing about that. Okay, so there may be, unless the FBI finds these people, and is able to stop them, there will be some kind of bomb. Or maybe it won't even be in New York. I don't know. Things when the guides tell you things, it's not always exactly like they're saying. Like um, I can recall telling someone, "I see your dog, the black and white dog." Actually, it wasn't a dog; it was a cat. That kind of thing happens, and I think there was another one too, similar to that, where it's close, and I could say, "Well, no cigar," but it's awfully close, and I kind of would say, "Yeah, you get the cigar." Um, okay, so I am a fighter. I don't let things sit, and I don't know whether it's good or not. When I was parked on a street in Center City, Philadelphia, a little street. I mean, a street that had parking on both sides, but the the driving part was just wide enough for a truck, and which means it was wide enough for a car, but the truck had to be careful. There was a truck that came by and it hit the driver's side mirror off my car. I was in my car, and the street itself was half broken up. Like you'd be driving and it would be pretty much like this. But the truck kept on going, hit my car, kept on going, and it felt like, ooh, it felt like a really big truck had hit my car. Let me see if I have water. Yeah, little water. Um, I'm thirsty. Um, what this truck company did is it was a nationwide truck company, and they just kept putting me off. And I'm sure they do that to everyone. They make it difficult. When I finally got, luckily, there was a witness who was willing to give her name and number and stuff like that. She took pictures of the car, which was great because I was shaken up. She did all that stuff. And in the end, when I was sending them all the information, they started saying, "We didn't get your email." And I would keep sending it, and they'd keep saying, "We didn't get your email." Send it again. "We didn't get your email." I'm sorry. I was not going to be put off. Those stupid mirrors in the car were about $700. And I wanted it painted the same color as the car. I don't care that the car was from '06 or '07. I don't care. You're not going to break something on my car. You're not break the mirror off and I'm going to say, okay. No, it's not okay. And I don't want some old mirror from a car that, from who knows, 2000, year 2000, stuck on there another color. Uh-uh. No. I'm going to call you and I'm going to find out how to get you to do what you need to do. I'm not letting it go. No, and I didn't. You know, okay, here's another story. We had a guy come to, we had like God, it was like a river flowing in through the bricks in the front of their house. And this guy had really good references. So, okay, so he came and we paid him $700. He took up the floor, it's part of the floor there. And then the next day, he's supposed to come. I brought a whole bunch of stuff, put it in the living room. Next day, he was supposed to come back and do more work, and he didn't. And it turned out that he had been arrested, not for anything he was doing for us, but he was involved in drugs, and he had changed his phone number and blocked me from calling him back, and so I had the work done by someone else because it came under the house insurance policy, and so I had it done by somebody else. And then Lowe's tried to get me to give it up. Like they kept saying he got it all. I said I want proof that he got it all. They don't even bothered. And I had to call wondering if I had, no, it was later that I called the insurance um, part of the government in Delaware. But they finally had to have somebody actually go look and make sure that he had actually taken the stuff. So I couldn't get the money back. And he had stolen, basically, he'd stolen some of the stuff. Um, but I wanted to know what it was. I wasn't just going to take their word. Um, Boy, now I'm off on what companies do. Companies do a lot of crap. We had this laundry company that's nationwide. I don't think it's worldwide. It was called Happy Nest, Nest, because I really don't have a lot of energy, and it's a shame I don't, and I have to get back surgery, and so it hurts a lot to walk, and so we had this company, and um, I thought they stole all of our really good sheets that were expensive. We got them at Wanamaker's, which was a company all over. I think it might have been Philadelphia and New York. I don't even know if it was New York, but it was a big company. Um, anyway, so it turned out that I find no, they did steal some, but what they also did was they took they said, oh, we're so careful, we don't do that, and their company offices were in Rhode Island, like on the upper East Coast, up near Nova Scotia. So I find that I returned clothes that I could see that weren't mine, but there were things I couldn't see, like pants. And when I put them on, like black pants that you wouldn't know, like, you might have a lot of black pants. I did. I do. So I put them on, and I'm such a little shrimp. Um, they were just behind me. They were so long. They weren't mine. And since I broke off, I didn't want the company anymore because they were returning. other people's clothes. So I just gave them the Goodwill, and I still find things like shirts. Wait a minute, this this wasn't my shirt. There's a shirt I just found that I thought maybe this is Harry's, my husband's. No, he wore a much bigger size. I can wear it, but it wasn't mine. I never bought it. And there's like there are other pants like that. I have white long stretch pants. I never bought them. So somebody else has my white non-stretch pants. Um, so the moral of the story is don't use um, a, um, a public uh, laundry because you probably will get other people's clothes. Um, and no, I don't let anything sit. I spoke to the company because I wanted my sheets back, but I wasn't going to get them. Somebody either gave them to somebody else or stole them because they were Egyptian cotton. They looked brand new. Um, I can't think. Anyway, when I was a kid and we moved from a nice neighborhood to a neighborhood with mostly working class people who, well, right where we lived, right around us, there were people who were really ignorant. I don't know if they graduated from high school. Um, the style in the 1950s was still that moms in the United States stayed home. They wore an apron all day. If they smoked, this is really the 1950s and early 60s. They would uh, if they smoked in the house. They didn't smoke outside. You didn't see them. You really didn't see women walking around. Well, you didn't. It wasn't just my family. I know my family was into being proper, but no, it wasn't just them. One of the things in the 1950s was women would cook and clean, and um, uh, so my mother baked cakes all the time. Her cakes always came out like this, cockeyed. They were always good, but they came out in the 1950s with box cakes. So all you had to add were milk and eggs. I don't even know about milk, but you added maybe oil, maybe butter. So it never occurred to her or my father that probably the gas range and oven was probably crooked, and that's why they were coming out cockeyed. Um, so she used to make these cakes, and people would show up during the week in either the afternoon or for lunch. My one aunt, one aunt drove, and she was always coming over. Um, my cousin was the postman for the commercial neighborhood that was about 4 blocks away, and he always drove over and had coffee, smoked cigarettes. I mean, they would do that, smoke cigarettes, eat cake, and talk for hours. I mean, I don't know if he did for hours, but that's the way it was with other people. Mom's friends would come over, and girlfriends have cake, and smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. I forgot the coffee. Coffee was always brewing. Um, and I'm trying to think if mom washed those dishes because when I dream, I'm always washing her dishes. But the thing was, they had this um, neighbor, and a few were houses down, the same kind of people. The woman next door didn't walk around with cigarettes hanging out, but the other ones did, like you know, and yelling out the door, which apparently was also not classy, so my mother never yelled out the door or yelled any name calling out the door. It was different, you know. And the women outside weren't wearing aprons either. Um, they would be sitting outside, and the guy next door was out there. He had a little business with screen doors and screens and that stuff. Um, and his son and the next door neighbor to them would bother my brother, and my parents would say stuff about, ask them please to leave him alone, and he wouldn't. Um, he challenged my father, and he was just really obnoxious, and the kids were obnoxious, and eventually the people two doors away never moved, and the guy was a nut. I mean, his sentences when he would talk never made sense or anything. But when I was a kid, I felt like I was the only one who would take up for my brother, and I used to talk back to these people and tell them to leave my brother alone and just mind their own business. And that carried on. When I was older, I did the same thing. I didn't take any crap from people. When people would tell me, and I was an adult living in an apartment in a newer part of the city, and people tried to tell me what to do with my trash, I told them where to go. Like, no, you have no business telling me anything. You want to be helpful, that's one thing, but don't be critical of me and think I'm going to listen to you. No, I'm not. Um, and of course, here I have this wonderful person next door who was, um, he had the big flag up, the Stars and Bars, which was the flag from the South in 1862 or 61. Um, Surprised he didn't have it hanging from his truck, but he just had it on took up the whole back wall of his garage. And my son's father-in-law came, and he saw it. And he was like, "Why would somebody do that?" And anyway, that particular guy never felt comfortable with a educated woman next door. You know, he just felt. I think he felt like his macho stuff um, was being challenged. He was this kind of guy. Do you know the kind of guy? Macho, macho, I macho, blah, blah, blah. He lifted weights. I saw him lifting weights years ago. Oh crap! So I did not let him get away with it. I used to. What I would do was walk around. I have the worst voice, and I used to sing. What did I used to sing? Um, a song from. I can't think of the name of the show. I can't think of it. It's a Spanish show that is very Don Quixote. Yeah, sing songs from that, and when the saints come marching in, if my singing is so bad that it was horrible. Anyway, okay, let me stop. That's enough. I feel like it's too much. Um, let's see what's going to happen this week. What's going What's going to happen this week? What can I tell people? I see chaos. I see in the United States they have these guys from ICE from the. It's really from a guy named Stephen Miller who works for Trump. Who He's a very hateful guy. Just sick. He's got these people running around from Homeland Security or something, ICE. So there are people with black clothes on, a mask over their face, a hat, and a mask here, right? So all you can see are their eyes, and they're going in maybe groups of two and three, grabbing people off the street and off of their jobs and out of their houses. I'm really waiting for them to be shot, especially in cities like Philadelphia, where people are on their roofs and they are armed. I'm not armed, but yeah, a lot of people are. That's how it is in the United States. I'm not talking about hunters. Hunters are one thing. These are people who are freaked out and nervous about people breaking into their houses, and I don't know. They're definitely really freaked out and scared, and so they're armed. Um, I'm just waiting for them to start shooting at these ICE guys. Um, I think it has been happening in the United States. Like what the government is saying that is that in any city where they offer um, a place for people who are immigrants, but they're not doing it legally. That these are what do they call it? There's cities that say, "Here, come to us. We want to keep you safe." And so they're purposely sending ICE people into those cities. They're supposedly, apparently, not sending them into places like red states where they voted for Trump. Um, so what my guide said was there's going to be more chaos, and that I can see that. Is there anything else? More floods. Yeah, we've been having floods. The reason I thought the reason for that particular area where the little girls were all lost, washed away, was that they were too cheap to put up the stuff, the sirens and stuff that would let them know there was a flash floods coming. And it turns out, no, they didn't want anything from Biden. They didn't trust anything from the last president, who was a Democrat. Could that happen in another country? If you're from another country, I wish you'd let me know. Are people like that there too? I mean, I can't see them behaving in the way that they are here. I mean, that is in itself nuts. They don't trust people with college degrees. Um, they think people are elitist. Um, I don't even know what else. It's just craziness. If you're educated, uh, you're they don't want to trust you. Um, they don't trust the regular news or something like the New York Times, which is the official paper of the United States. Um, Anything like that. They watch they watch crazy stuff where people have all this conspiracy ideas in their head, and it's it's really sad. It's very, very sad. And I do have relatives who believe that stuff too, and I'm glad they're not watching my show. So yeah, so we'll have more flooding. It's been really serious, and I know India's been having flooding too. So is Pakistan. I'm trying to think. I think some of Europe is having it too. I know that we're supposed to have really bad weather for at least this year or for a while because the earth is not, I don't know what the problem is exactly. I know the politics are horrible now. Um, boy, oh boy, we have some things that are just, okay. I don't see any questions coming up that you have for me. If you did, I could answer them. I can definitely answer any kind of question for at least that time. Things do change, you know. I mean, the weather could change and be wonderful for the rest of the month. But at this moment, I expect, or we expect, storms and flooding. Weather's very, very hot. People are people are very nervous and angry too. Let me ask if there's anything I should tell you. Is there anything that I should tell people now? Ah, I should tell you not to fight with people whose political ideas are different from yours. Just let them be. You know, they might change with with finding out that their leader was possibly raping little girls. I don't know. Very, very ugly. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Please press the buttons. It is all my opinions. It's um, for entertainment only. Um, I guess that's really it. Okay. So now you know I'm a fighter. So if you need to know what to do, just ask me. You got to find out where to call and do it. Don't let the companies make. Don't let them walk all over you. And I would say don't let people walk all over you either. You are unique. There is no one else like you. No one. And so don't let them, you know, you get your own opinion of yourself. See if there's anything that you want to change because you need to like yourself. That's important. And don't worry about what they think. It really isn't your business what they think. Your business is you, just you. Maybe your children. Actually, yes, it is your children. You need to really be good to them. All right. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope you do press the buttons. And I'm going to go eat because I am hungry. Okay. Thank you. Good night. And nothing happens. Now it did.